The Ford Everest Trend. My oh my, isn't it big? It competes with the Isuzu MU-X and the Toyota Prado. But was it big enough for my family of 4 for a weekend away? Could it handle a toddler and a baby in everyday life? And was it comfortable enough for 4 adults and 2 kids on a country road? I have tested all of this in the past 2 weeks, and I'm here to tell you if it could handle me and my family. For my full written review, make sure you head over to the CarsGuide website. Now let's get stuck into the video. This mid-level large SUV is going to set you back at a little over $65,000, and I'm going to tell you in this review why I think that is such good value for money. It comes with 18-inch alloy wheels, a huge 12-inch portrait colour touchscreen, and wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You also get 3 USB points up front, 2 in the second row, wireless charging, and 3 auxiliary 12-volt power outlets, 1 in the front, third row, and rear cargo. There's dual zone climate control air conditioning with roof vents, which is standard for the second and third rows. Our test car comes with the $900 Trend Premium Seat Pack, which includes 10-way power adjustable driver seat with memory function, 8-way power adjustable front passenger seat, and heated and cooled driver and front passenger seats. We also have the Touring Pack fitted, which includes a 360-degree camera, zone lighting, and a tow bar with integrated trailer brake controller, all for $1,950. Out of all 7 colours, there is only one that comes at no extra cost, and that is Arctic White. This pretty colour here is Shadow Black, and it will cost an extra $675. The Everest is the SUV version of Ford's latest Ranger Ute, and it definitely has that Ute look and feel to it, with the big beefy round corners at the front, the long length, and it has that off-roader height to it. Thankfully, it has steps on either side so it can help you climb in and out. Although the interior isn't flashy, it's contemporary in the look and the optional leather accented seats, steering wheel, and digital instrument panel. I must say, the gear lever takes some getting used to. With the gear indicators on the top surface, it forces you to squint at your dash or remove your hand to make sure you're in the right gear. After 2 weeks, we still didn't get a handle of it. First up, let's talk about storage up here. We have not only 2, but 4 cup holders. So your 2 that you normally have in the center, and then 1 on each side over here. You get your bottle holders in each door, the center console bin, it's a great size. It also comes with a nifty little tray that you can keep spare sunglasses or keys or wallet. The glove box, standard size, but always good and handy. But then also, you get a spare compartment up here. This would be great. It's actually quite long. You definitely fit a wallet in there. Just storage is abundant up here. There's also a little spot that I'd love for keys and our garage remote, a spot down here for wallet, anything else extra that you've got. I don't know what you would keep there because all the other storage is so fantastic. There is also your wireless charging down here too. And there's also a spot up here to keep your sunglasses as well. There is plenty of legroom up here, even with the car seats behind in the second row. You can move the second row back and forth so you can give yourself extra space if you are really tall. I'm 168 centimeters, and as you can see, there is plenty of room for me. This multimedia screen is the best I've ever used in any car. I've said in previous reviews that I prefer to have tactile buttons, but what I've come to realize in this car, as this has very few tactile buttons, is I just need an infotainment screen that worked properly, that was seamless, it didn't lag, that was intuitive, and this is all of those things. This is also one of the first cars that I have chosen to use Android Auto. It connected seamlessly and super easy, unlike other cars that I've had, and it actually made me choose to use that, whereas in previous cars I've chosen not to use it because it just has been clunky and not functioned correctly. The layout of the screen, how it splits, is really functional in having the navigation or the map on the top and your other menus down the bottom. And one last thing, Google Maps works so well, it even integrates onto the instrument cluster, which is just an added bonus. And if you download the Ford Connect app, among other things, what you can do is turn on your car remotely through the app, turn on the air conditioning, which we all know is something that's really needed in hot Australian summers. The second row is equally as great. The doors don't quite open to 90 degrees, but they definitely open wide enough for a family with kids. With having the option of moving either 1, 2 or the entire row forwards or backwards, you have the option of giving yourself extra leg room or having more space for the third row or the boot. Fitting the child seats were easy enough. You've either got anchor points across all 3 or the 2 outboard seats also have ISOFIX. The tether point on the back of the seats is halfway down, so depending what you prefer on installing your seats, you can either reach over to clip it in or you can climb in through the boot and do it that way, which is the way we did it, and it was easy enough. This row can be split up into 60-40, the 60 being on the passenger side, so that could also determine where you place your child seats. You get 2 bottle holders, 1 in each door, and then you get 2 cup holders in the center. It's a bit hard to pull down, but once you've got it down, it just pops out and you can enjoy your bevy. What's the third row like? Well, it's actually not too bad. Besides the awkward climbing in, it was quite comfortable. I could push the second row forward to give me a little bit more leg space, and under the bum, it wasn't that uncomfortable and it didn't feel too different to the second row. For my height, if you're able to push the second row forward a little bit, I would be comfortable sitting back here for at least an hour. But for you taller folk, it's probably not going to be too comfortable. So I can't forget there is a bottle holder on each door, but as you could see, it is quite a small skinny one, so not every drink bottle is going to fit. But having it is always a bonus. The air vents are up here in the ceiling, which is the best spot for a third row. Coat hook holders, there are lights back here, and the 12 volt is over here on my side, which you can put a charging point in. As mentioned, I packed up the entire family and we went up to the Hunter Valley and stayed in a holiday home. Staying in a holiday home, you have to take all of the things, but it all fit in here. Even my son's 16-inch bike could stand upright behind the second row. Pretty impressive. There are 2 things to consider with the boot when it comes to the Everest. The height of the boot is higher than normal, so for me, lifting the pram into the boot made me realise I probably need to work out a little bit more, but if you're vertically challenged or possibly even have back problems, that could be a problem for you. And once the seats are down, there is a bit of an incline, so putting the pram in means that it was rolling around a little bit. Not deal breakers, but it could be something to consider for you and your family. There's a little cubby over to the side just there. Underneath here, there's a toolbox and another little cubby space, which would be great for shopping bags. And then my favorite feature of all, powered tailgate. This big beast of a car has a 2-litre 4-cylinder bi-turbo diesel engine. Now, even though this car is huge, it never felt like it was too wide to be on the road, so staying inside my own lane was really easy. The steering and braking feels really similar to smaller Fords that I've driven previously. So besides allowing for longer braking distances and allowing a little more play in the steering wheel, it didn't take long to get used to. Now, the throttle is quite responsive, but it doesn't have a lot of power behind it. I mean, you're hauling quite a large, heavy car, so you're not going to really take off the line in this thing. When it comes to the ride in this car, the large profile tyres and the high suspension makes it quite comfortable. You don't really notice all the potholes in the road, and I'm not nervous about hitting them, worried that I might damage the wheels or the undercarriage of the car. So it makes me just feel a lot more comfortable driving such a big vehicle. Parking with this car is really easy thanks to the 360-degree camera. It just helps guide you in. You can see from a top view exactly where you're going, what you could potentially hit, what you need to miss. And having such a large car trying to fit into a small car park, it just makes parking just the best. Ford claims that the combined fuel consumption is 7.2 litres per 100 kilometres. Now, in my driving while having this car, I have reached 9 litres per 100 kilometres. One thing to consider with a diesel engine, if you're doing short trips like me and my family do, You really need to be running the engine for much longer. Ford suggests that you should be running it for at least 20 minutes occasionally on highways or long stretches of road. That's just not practical for me and my family, so living with a diesel engine probably isn't practical, so that would be something to consider for you and your family. Ford's warranty plan is 5 years with unlimited kilometres. Now, if your vehicle is an MY22 or later, eligible customers will only have to pay $329 for the first 4 general services for up to 4 years, or 60,000 kilometres, whichever comes first. The Trend has all the safety features I look for in a car: reverse brake assist or rear AEB, ABS, lane keeping aid with lane departure warning, forward AEB with intersection assist, blind spot monitoring with cross traffic alert, and intelligent speed assist. So when using adaptive cruise control, it will automatically recognise a drop in the speed limit. But be aware, you may be unintentionally slowing down in a school zone on a Saturday afternoon. Was the Everest big enough for me and my family? Absolutely. Could it handle daycare drop-off, grocery shopping, and all of my other errands I do day to day? Yes. And was it comfortable enough? Not just in the first row, but also in the third. It was. There isn't a lot about this car that I didn't like, besides the fact that there isn't a petrol option, which doesn't work for me and my family and our lifestyle. But if you do a lot of highway driving, then that's not going to be a problem for you. The airbags reaching all the way back to the third row and the effortless infotainment screen just sealed the deal for me. I really enjoyed this car, and I think the value for money is incredible. It really is worth it. So I'm giving the Ford Everest Trend a 9 out of 10. For more information and for my full review, make sure you head on over to the CarsGuide website, and I'll see you all in my next family review.